Hey, what's going on, guys? Lion Trader here, coming to you with another market update on Bitcoin. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. I don't charge anything for it. It takes a little bit of my time, but I enjoy it. Enjoy helping y'all out, and um, but you sharing the video, it really helps me out. So let's go ahead and dig in here on Bitcoin. So as you can see, I'm still bearish. The golden cross doesn't really mean much to me, and I'll get into that in a second. But I noticed this the other day, and I want to bring it to y'all's attention. So here at this blue line, we have a 3-year line of support. As you can see, touch, touch, kind of touch, but you get the point. And so here, when we broke, we broke that support line. And now this is extremely basic stuff here is, once the support line is broken, we come back up and we test it and then we dump further. Now, look at what we did here. We touched, and right now we are touching it. But look what else we have going on here. Right here, as you can see, touch, 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 touch. Finally, it broke. Right now, we're right there. Like literally right there. So, we saw the resistance starting kind of in this range when we hit that first 50. We saw the low volume node here. We saw a little bit of structural support. We saw that first kind of reaction. We lingered around there. Once we got through that, now we're at the serious support. This is where, that titanium steel wall of resistance is from about here to about, I want to say somewhere, I'd have to pull the algo, but it's somewhere in here. I want to say it's this yellow line. I think that's why I put it there. But once we get above there, and if we stay above there, like I'm not talking about a wick, then I'll be bullish. But we haven't. We're right on the edge of this resistance, very heavy resistance that it took an entire year for us to break down through. So we're there. We're also at this median line. One of the median line trading principles is that there will often be a pivot at the median line. And as you can see, this was a very significant median line for all of the bear market so far. We kind of touched, bounced, finally got through, touched, bounced, got through, touched, bounced, kind of lingered, got through. This time we just went straight through it. But as you can see, it's reacting to that median line. And then towards the end here, it really started to react. So you can see a bump, and we just couldn't get back through it. And then we finally dumped down, and now we're up around it again. We're there. We're at the 2018 bear market support, now resistance. We're at the 3-year trend line resistance now. We're diverging on everything. We're diverging on look at that freaking divergence. When's the last time we saw that? Here, maybe? Look at that. And then look what we did after that severe amount of divergence. From here to about here, that's what this is. And then boom. We also saw that decreasing volume. Well, what are we seeing here? I would argue that this divergence is probably about equal, maybe a little bit greater because we are running into such heavy resistance up here. But look at this, and we are climbing on decreasing volume. So, the bulls like to, they're getting really happy about that golden cross. But, look at this, we're climbing into a very heavy resistance zone on diverging velocity, on diverging momentum, lots of FUD coming out in the market right here. It's not a coincidence that as we're approaching all this resistance, we have all this FUD coming out, the news is interesting to me. That's why I like to look at it, but I don't trade off of it. I trade off the technicals. And whenever we get to a turning point in the market like this, it's kind of funny how the news starts flooding out then. I wouldn't be surprised if there was another big news thing that came out in the next few days or week or so, and that really caused the dump. But Getting back to the golden cross here, I want to tell you why it's not really that important to me. So if you look here, we death crossed, right? Everybody freaked out. Well, right at the death cross, what did we do? We started going in the opposite direction. Then we golden crossed, and what did we do? We started coming back down. Death crossed, and we kind of continued on, continued on. So what I'm kind of getting at here is that now that Bitcoin is getting into to being a larger asset, it's not. I really don't think that it's going to do this. It's just not, because as you get bigger and these moves take longer, you know, what happens is the price action is getting more and more stretched out, which with EMAs, whenever that happens, because they're lagging indicators, they get more stretched out and more thin. And so then you have to rely on higher time frame EMAs. And, that's why I'm just not really relying too heavily on it. I would be lying if it wasn't a slight concern, because that is bullish nonetheless. It's really not. It's not really a concern for me, because what's going to happen with all that bearish divergence and us losing volume and we're coming into this? Is it going to come down just to here? Unlikely. What's more likely is going to happen is that this is some sort of if the bull market is this is a 1, 2, 3, come down for 4, 5. But I don't know. I don't see that. Or this could have been a 4 and that's a 5, but at the very least, we would come down here. More likely, I would say we'd probably come down here. As you can see, that's where your real support is. And then what's going to happen is we're going to be below the 200 EMA. It's going to death cross and everybody's going to freak out. So, I mean, it's just really not that substantial to me. But anyway, that's what I would be looking for as far as bulls go, is a retrace. You certainly don't want to be buying into this, because where's your upside? What's the likelihood it's just going to go and shoot up to 15,000 or 10,000? It's very unlikely, especially on the edge of this resistance. So I'm in cash. I'm just waiting. I'm not all that convinced that the bull market's in to begin with. But what I want to kind of get to is, if you look at I might need to, let's go to BLX. So we basically have about 3 of these pump cycles in Bitcoin. And what I want you to notice is that each one of these has been taking longer and longer. First one, it's kind of quick. Second one, a little longer. Third one, now we're just like right at about the length of this bear market. Do you really think this bear market's going to end that quickly compared to how long the bull run took? Probably not. Let's look at the fib time. Let's see, that was probably the. So where did it end? Right in between the 50 and the golden zone. Where did it end? Right in between the 50 and the golden zone. Where did it? Or is this one going to end? Right in between the 50 and the golden zone. It's I just I don't know how else to say that. It's pretty straightforward to my eyes. So once we come down here and bottom, we're more likely going to consolidate. And then we'll gradually start moving up, and these moves will continue to take longer and longer, and that's just what happens with markets. As the market cap here is very low, it doesn't take a whole lot to be able to dump it. As it gets bigger, it takes longer for that money to exit the market and to enter it again, for the price to go way up, and that's exactly what's happening here. This is going to take a little longer consolidation. It's funny, like I keep hearing these idiot YouTubers coming out and saying, "Oh, the bull market's on because, institutional investors are now buying." Well, let me tell you something. With this pump happen, that's not institutional buyers market buying $100 million. They aren't doing that, okay? These companies like Fidelity and Bakkt and all that, that's not where they buy. They don't market buy $100 million worth of shares. And no, that's pure manipulation. Because why, if you're a buyer here if you're just going to market order, think about that for a second. Why would you do that? Why would you market order $33 million across 3 exchanges? Because you're wanting to accumulate Bitcoin at the best price? I don't think so. Because you're going to cause a market to spike up because there's low liquidity in the market. So why are you causing that? Because you want to drive the price up. You want to manipulate the price. That's the only reason for that, because exactly what's happened is they created FOMO. They created people to FOMO, and I guarantee you they're going to start dumping. Who that was, I don't know. I kind of want to speculate that it was Bitfinex and Tether, that they market bought and forced the price up, and they're just continuing to buy with Tether. There's a whole fiasco going on with that, and we could sit there and speculate, but I don't think Tether's going to be around for very long. It's kind of like they say that they're doing nothing wrong, but they continually are being accused of doing things wrong. It's kind of like if you're dating someone and they're doing sketchy shit, well, they're probably doing sketchy shit. So let's see, kind of gather my thoughts a little bit. Where were we? This is pure manipulation. Someone forcing the price up to fill their shorts, and then the market dumps down. That's what I'm expecting until we break. Here, I really don't see much to be going on about in the bull case. I just think this is a lot of people wanting the bear market to end, and just because you want something in the market doesn't mean that it's going to happen. In fact, the fact that everybody practically, like 95% of the people out there, are screaming bull run makes me even more confident that this is not a bull run. Because what should happen at the bottom of this is that it should bottom out, move sideways, and everyone's in despair and upset. When's it going to go up? And it's just really not good emotionally in the market. And what would we sit down here barely, and then we shot right back up because some guy decided to market order 100 million and cause a FOMO run? It's just not a whole lot to get excited about here. I wanted to show you the volume. That's what I was going to show. Let's see. Yeah, not to mention NVT is red hot. Oh yeah, just ignore that. That doesn't mean anything. No. All right, so let's look at the volume. Look how pathetic this is. There's hardly any volume. We could see that big spike when they did the market order, but look at this. There's nothing. We're climbing on abysmal volume. Now let's go compare that to the last bull market starting and when everybody was accumulating. Oh, what do you have there? Wow. Look at all that accumulation. Look at all that capitulation as people are buying into the market in anticipation of the next bull run. Absolutely shocking. Whereas right now our volume is more like this. So let's go back over here. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So again, we're in the bull market. We've got extremely low volume here. In fact, decreasing volume as we climb higher, what does that mean? That means that as the price gets higher, there are less and less people willing to buy. That's what that tells you. We got the NVT saying, this is overvalued. I think y'all get the point I'm trying to make here. I just don't see it happening. I don't see a bull market. What's going to happen is this is going to come down. We're going to see volume spike up, and we're going to see accumulation begin. That's what we're going to see. Once we get past here, 786, that's when shortly after that, we should start to see the price slowly and steadily begin to climb. And then somewhere around, why is it doing that? Somewhere around here is when the real FOMO will start and everybody will be panicking, and the damn thing will just go parabolic up to 200 plus $1,000, and then we'll correct again. But that's pretty much it for my video. I think I've shown y'all everything I need to show y'all. I went over a lot of stuff that I've gone over in the past. I don't think I went over the volume and the trend line. I think that's new. I just wanted to reassure y'all that I really haven't changed on my stance on the market. Volume is abysmal. We're diverging really badly. There's a lot of FUD going around. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. We're at a brick wall right now, and Bitcoin is either going to sharply dump down from here or smash through it. I seriously doubt we're going to smash through it, considering it took us a year to break below this line. You think we're just going to go right back above it? I don't think so. Anyway, I think this video's pretty much at the end here. Let me know if there's any questions that y'all have, and I'll answer them in the comments. And have a great day. Oh, and also, this goes without saying, get out of Tether if you're in it. It's not worth it. There's plenty of other places you can put your money other than Tether. It's just an unnecessary risk, and get the fuck out of Bitfinex because they are sketchy. I posted a tweet the other day about this. I was like, it's kind of funny. They're like, they're accused of losing $850 million because it was seized or whatever. And then they're like, no, we didn't lose it, New York Attorney General. How dare you accuse us of that? And then a little shortly after that, they're like, hey, we need to do a fundraiser for $1 billion. Oh, really? Really? Huh. That's funny. Interesting. This is it's a joke, It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all soon. Be safe.